Alright, welcome back to Slam Shenanigans. Today's project is going to be installing a 3-foot culvert here. So I'm coming up with the excavator, moving that little compactor that I'll talk about here in a minute out of the way. And the challenges are going to be to the right is a very steep canyon down to the creek, and to the left is a fairly steep little bank that's actually not my property. So I'm not digging the ditch here in front of you, I'm not showing you, I'm actually just digging where the water is going to come out. And I'll move the camera here in a minute and you'll see. So it's kind of cleaning stuff, and very immediately right behind the laser there was some huge rocks that I hit immediately. But anyways, this is where I started digging the ditch. The culvert is a 3-foot culvert, which is basically almost 40 inches on the outside. Don't ask me how I call it a 3-foot, but there. You can see the excavator's kind of going back into the bank here. If you paid attention, you see that I took a couple scoops out, and you'll see a picture later on what I had to do to actually make this work, where I could start from the creek side and work towards the back side. So here I was hooking up the culvert. I think this is the hole that I had to dig in the bank just to be able to finish digging the hole for the culvert. And here's the ditch here. So I shot for about 4 to 6 inches on each side. If I had a jumping jack compactor, I probably would have gone like 1.5 feet, 2 feet on each side, but that's just a ton of dirt to move here for that big of a culvert. But here I am hooking it up, getting it in there, and I'm embarrassed to say it took me about 3 different times where the chain kept slipping off before I finally got it and positioned it. And then I kind of checked to see which way I wanted it, you know, further out, closer in, decided on right there. And this is where I start actually covering it back up. So time-lapse makes things go really fast because this was a couple hours. But filling her back in, trying to get enough on there to where I can actually get the excavator off. Kind of digging out the end there. So now I've actually got water flowing in there, and I'm getting down in here and trying to get some of that stuff cleaned out of the actual culvert. Moving some of the dirt here, cleaning it off. So I basically got it set there. This is a new to me, very, very old dual drive drum Hatz Diesel powered crank start excavator, or compactor, which did really well, but I found out that it did so well that you got to keep moving or you get it stuck, as you can see by those couple holes there. But it did fantastic. It's kind of on loan from a friend. I am in the hunt right now for a ride-on. Haven't decided if I'm going to go sheep's foot or double drum, depending on the work I'm going to do, which the potential new business job that I've alluded to in my other videos. So if you didn't see that, please watch this. I just wanted to say here, I was really proud of my son. He is not an operator, but he knew enough, and I've trained him enough, I guess, to where you know you don't walk up behind something. So he actually did really, really well. He stopped and waited until I saw him. Wish I'd have cut that a little earlier, but anyways, pretty much all cleaned up here. Kind of gathering some tools out of the way. Pulling the old dump truck because there's still quite a bit of excess soil here, obviously, because you put a 3-foot 40-inch culvert in a 4.5-foot hole. There's a whole lot extra dirt. So what I'm doing here is just kind of cleaning up the stuff that's on the road. There's a tremendous amount that's pushed on the left side here, and the way the water used to flow was from the right side of the screen down out through the gate and over, because I had 2 6-inch culverts I put in about 3 years ago that clogged up with silt. So that's why I'm putting this 3-footer in. So there goes the first load of dirt, and I'm using that to raise a portion of my road on another part of the property there. And now I'm getting in the tractor and doing some more cleanup here, just kind of cleaning off the road, if you will. And then the next couple scenes here will be me loading the dump trailer up some more and bringing it back down there. So here's kind of where we left it off before I got rid of all the spoils. So the road's fairly smooth, culvert's in, water's flowing good. Everything was doing well. I was pretty happy with that. I'm still going to line the sides of the culvert with some rocks so that we know not to drive over it. Here I'm coming in with, I think, my second load of spoils. This is where all the silt was from the previous water flow. So I'm cleaning that out, loading the trailer up. And this stuff is pretty wet, and you'll see why I'm saying that here in a minute. But then I parked the excavator off the side, get in the truck, back it up to the part of the trailer, and here I am getting ready to dump. And as with all these things I say in all my videos, it's like I work more than I do film, right, if that makes sense. So I'm not at 1,000 subscribers yet, so if you guys would like to help me get there, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And then I promise I will take more time filming. But what I'm showing you here, which I didn't show when I started the dump, is that this is I think the second load that I dumped. And this load was a little bit wetter, and obviously it isn't coming out. So I am I knew it wasn't coming out because I could see it wasn't flowing over the side. So I'm kind of jerking, if you will, a little bit here, trying to get the stuff to break loose, which it is to a point. And then I start, I think there's gonna be about 20 of these where I get in and get out, trying to see what's happening here. So the old guy's walking back, wondering what he's gonna see. Maybe a few cuss words in there, I'm not sure. But it wasn't working too well. And this will go on for a few minutes here, I think. But yeah, this dirt was just a little too wet when it hit the deck, and it was sticking. My dump trailer goes up pretty high. It's an older PJ, and it's a good incline. And if it's dry material, it'll come out pretty good. If you guys don't know dump trailers, it's not like a dump truck where it's up already like 4 or 5 feet where everything comes out in the first dump. Dump trailers, you basically dump them, it piles up on the ground, and then you drive forward and the rest of it comes out. Well, my driving forward part and the rest coming out wasn't really going to plan here because the stuff's just a little too wet. So a few more cuss words, maybe. I think I was just grumbling, no cussing. So we get back in the truck and we're just like, all right, we gotta kind of jostle this there a little bit. So I think at this point I actually lower it a little bit, which seems counterintuitive, but because of the way my road was crowned, I was actually dragging the tailgate, if you will, of the trailer, the bottom of the trailer on the road. So I lowered it a little bit, which raises that contact point. As you can see here, as I drive away, you can actually see the bottom of it now. It's not dragging on dirt, so I kind of mess with it a little bit more. Try to jostle it, see if anything more came out. Right here, nothing's really coming out. So I get out, walk on back for like the 18th time. Might have had some cuss words at this point. Gone, what the heck? Do a couple circles. Not really sure what I want to do here. So I think at this point, I kick it up all the way just to see if anything comes out. And I can tell nothing's really coming out. So I think this is where I say, all right, we're just bringing her down. We'll go get the other load, and I have a backup plan because I have equipment. So, and with most of my videos, I'll try to speed it up here and there, but for the most part, I show you how long things take. So some might think it's a little boring, some might find it useful. Let me know in the comments. You know, should I do like a lot of people do and make it look like it's just really smooth and easy and good and cut out all the crappy parts, or do I show you and you kind of hang through the entire video here? So like I said, I have a backup plan now. I know this is not a lot of fun to get this out. So we'll shut the gates and then we'll go back up there. But like I just said, things don't always go to plan. So I'll show you how much time it takes. And in this case, it was a simple thing that the one side gate would not close. So I'm cleaning out dirt and trying to figure out where it's binding, and I think it was a combination of dirt behind the panel at the hinge on the right side and a little bit that always gets caught where the latch goes in. So I kind of messed with that a little bit and got it cleaned out and kind of finally put back into where it should go and get to lock the gate up. But as you can see, it takes a minute or two. See if this is it. I think this is where I got it. Yep. She's closed. Come back, grab the camera, and we will go on to the next part. Oh, but wait. Let's get rid of some of these sticks. Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, so we're back up there, and I've got the camera on the other side of the place here. So what you can see now is I'm filling back in that hole that I had to dig out in the side of the hill just to get my excavator back there to where I could actually dig the remainder of the ditch for the culvert, take the excavator back to where I'm going to dump this stuff, and then come on back. And now you know my backup plan. So get here, start backing up with the, what is this, the third load here. And this is where I'm, this is what I call my upper road, my little cottage here that my wife uses to work out in. She's got a bunch of weight stuff in there. So I back her up, and you can see my backup plan is basically the shadow there in the foreground. So if this doesn't dump, I have mechanical means to clear it out. So there you go. Get out of the truck, rinse and repeat, open some gates here. Comes open a little easier than it closes sometimes. Always remember to, whatever kind of latching system you have for your doors on your dump trailer, make sure those are latched. That's part of why that one doesn't shut too well. Is it's I bought this used, and it's definitely been dumped with the doors open, if you will. So I did a whole bunch of re-welding on that. So I think this is where I kind of speed this up a little bit for you. I don't think it's real exciting, or you're not going to learn anything by seeing a trailer dump slow. So I tried to speed this up a little bit. And you'll see once the load gets to a certain point, some of it will slough off, and then it'll build up on the bottom, and then it just stops, because that's what dump trailers do. They're not 4 feet off the ground like dump trucks. So you get her cranked up, you get that initial there, and then you try to drive away. And you'll see on this time, once I get back in the truck, when you see me get back into the truck, I'll do some kind of just short burst pull forward brake to kind of jostle that out. So I always kind of look at just where it looks like in the initial dump, and I know it's not all coming out. Get back in the truck. This is where a dump truck would be handy, and that's definitely on the plans for future. Dump trailers are phenomenal, but there's definitely more to them than a dump truck. Dump truck, you can hit the release on the tailgate and just go. You're not getting in and out all the time. But you can see this load is just as hard as the last one, because it still had some of that dirt back there. So, but I know this time, so I'm doing more of the stop-start to try and get some of this out here. And I don't remember if I thought maybe this was dumping well or not, but I get out to check it again. And obviously there's a lot in there. So I'm like, okay, let's get a little more out. Oh, I think I was checking the hydraulics just to make sure it was all the way up, and I think it was. So I think I'll do a little bit more here, pulling forward, and then we'll go into the backup plan. Yep. Now it's time for backup plan. Not even going to look at it this time. I know what I'm doing. Going for it. So we'll reposition the camera here a little bit. I am trying to get a little better at keeping you guys in mind and what you're going to be able to see. So I'm trying. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Give me some motivation. Let's get this channel monetized, and I'll get some better equipment. Have some different views. Multiple cameras going. That'd be fantastic if I could just monetize and get some equipment to show you guys better content. But here's my backup plan before 4-foot bucket. Takeuchi TB250-2. I think this will work. What do you guys think? Smooth out our approach a little bit. So the excavator is somewhat level, not twisted, because if it's crooked side to side, that bucket's going to hit the bed not square and parallel, and I could potentially damage my bed rather than just kind of scraping it off. That's what you want to do. You just want to scrape it off. And you don't want to, when you're doing this, you also don't want to push your truck too much. And because I knew I was going to do this, what I do is I put it in neutral and I put the parking brake on. Because then if I inadvertently push the trailer a little too hard and it transfers pressure or force into the truck and tries to move the truck, it's not jamming up my transmission. All it's doing is going to be pushing on the brakes on the tires, and that's what the brakes do. So that's a much better situation than having it in park and having all that torque and pressure being put on your transmission components. So just a little side tip there. And again, this is where I'm doing this for work for me right now. So I'm more concentrated on the work versus filming, where if I'm going to make this a better channel, I know I need to make better content for you. So I'm trying to verbalize this to myself more or less to make an effort to get better angles for you guys in the future. So you can see exactly what I'm doing, but I think you get the idea here. Take that big old smooth bucket and get rid of the dirt that's in the bed. That's what I'm doing. So I wanted to get out and you saw me kind of move side to side there. That was what I was talking about before. So if I see that the bucket isn't exactly parallel to the bed, then I'm kind of moving the excavator to try and change the angles a little bit to where that bucket is just a perfectly flat scrape versus one edge of the bucket, which is pointed, going down into the bed of the trailer and potentially damaging it. So that's what that little jostling was there. So mission success. Got pretty much all the dirt out. Fairly clean bed. It's wet, so it still looks like it's dark with dirt, but it's not. We are pretty clear. So now let's head on back. And we should be putting I think I'm going to pull forward before I put the bed down just to get that last little bit off the tailgate part. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting in here. Pull forward some. Get back out, lower the bed. This is where a dump truck would be really nice. You don't have to do all those steps. You kind of back up to where you want it. You flip a couple switches, push a button, pull a lever, dump, and you're done. So here I'm kind of pushing dirt off the edge, making sure everything's out there. I think I might have given the bed one more kick just to try and get some of the stuff that's way up there. Sometimes I actually climb up in the bed to kind of slide down with my boots and clear things out, but I don't think I was feeling that frisky. It's been a fairly long day. Like I said, time lapse, which I do a lot of, pretty much makes it look like you're doing stuff really fast, obviously. But I think all in all, from the time I pulled equipment out there to the site, because I had the culvert there, to the time I was done digging was maybe a couple hours. And then putting it back in, compacting, cleaning up, and everything else was probably 4 hours. And then I ended up having some food, I think, which you're not going to see on the video here, but I think you could do a culvert, this big of a culvert, in a day pretty easy. So like I said with the couple of videos ago, if you guys go back and watch that on the Water Buffalo, my water trailer, I was alluding that this nice brand new excavator is not just for my personal use. It was bought with a goal, and I am waiting on a license from my state, which I've passed all my tests, and submitted my surety bond, and I'm going to be a general engineering contractor of the state of California. So that's the whole reason that I've purchased that excavator and some of the other things you've seen in the other videos, like the water buffalo, the water trailer for summertime work. That's the first video that I alluded to my future business plans here. And then also the Diamond C trailer purchase, which is just a few weeks back. So hopefully you watch all those videos. That's the whole point of this equipment, is that I'm going to go and start a little side business as a excavator, kind of a one-man show here, but based on what I do for a living, I didn't go for just the excavation license. I went for a general engineering contractor's license, so it allows me to do a bit more, and excavation is covered under that. But anyways, here I moved the truck out of the way, and I got to park it a little bit, so there's a little bit of a lag here, and then I'll be walking back and we'll start leveling this off here. And this is my what I call my upper road, and you can see on the left it's where the water drains when it's wet. And if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that my property is mostly lava cap, which means that it's a lot of lava rock. Might be 6 inches under the dirt, might be 2 feet under the dirt, might be 100 feet under the dirt, but it's all lava rock. And so when it rains and things saturate, things start flowing like rivers. So I've been wanting to build up this road here for a bit so that I can contain that water on the left and then have a nice solid road base instead of a mud pit or a river that I'm driving down. So I'm walking back up here, and I'm walking around because it's actually about 1.5 feet thick there. So we'll move the camera and start showing you guys a little bit of leveling here. So we'll go back to time lapse, but basically this is the same load I just dropped, and I'm just going to kind of spread this out here and get a little bit more level, which is really nice because the road's sloped from left to right there pretty deep. So now I'm going to end up with somewhat of a level road. Eventually I'm going to end up rocking this all the way out to the mill there. And if you guys are interested in sawmilling and you haven't seen any of my other videos and you're not subscribed yet, please hit that button. Would really appreciate it. And look for the sawmill videos. It's down there in the distance. So anyways, this is pretty much how we left it at the end of the first part of the project. I had about 6 tons of rock out there that I was actually going to use down at the house, and last minute changed and I decided to put this culvert in, so I spread it here. This section of the road I'm probably going to build up, put some fabric down, put some 1.5 inches down, and then put probably 4 inches of this on top, so that way the road will be permanent. But appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for following along, and like I said, I would really appreciate it if you like this content. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with some friends, check out my shorts, and leave me some comments. Thanks.